Today, our topic is wave particle duality and uncertainty principle. Wave particle duality and uncertainty principle. Wave particle duality and uncertainty principle. Uncertainty principle. Uncertainty principle. So, in the previous class, we discussed about the dual nature of the matter, that is, matter waves concept. The particle, when it is in motion, will exhibit wave properties. So, here, wave particle duality means the particle properties of the wave and the wave properties of the particle leads the concept of duality. The particle properties of the wave and the wave properties of the particle, these two concepts leads duality. This duality leads uncertainty principle. Uncertainty principle means if we want to measure any two physical characteristics of a particle, if the accuracy in measuring one physical character is high and the second one, the uncertainty, there is some uncertainty, that means the accuracy is less, and vice versa. So, according to the wave nature of the particle, we can describe the particle as a wave packet as shown in the diagram. The particle is described as a wave packet as shown in the diagram. Here it is the particle. This is wave packet. Large wave packet. Small wave packet. So, a particle is, when it is moving state, when it is in moving state, it is supposed to be treated as a group of waves, namely wave packet. A particle is in motion is supposed to be treated as a group of waves, namely wave packet. If it is a very small particle, then the size of that wave packet is small. So, here the particle at which it is visible is supposed to be the region of constructive interference among the waves in that group, among the superposing waves in that group. If constructive interference takes place at that place, we can visualize that particle. We cannot visualize the particle means there the destructive interference is taking place. So the visibility of the particle is due to the constructive interference between the waves which constitute this wave packet. So if this wave packet is small, then the particle will move hither and thither with the particle will move to and fro rapidly. So even though we can find the position of that particle with high accuracy, there is an error, there is some uncertainty in determining the velocity of the particle because of its rapid motion in the wave packet. So if the size of the packet is small, then the certainty in the position is large, but the certainty in finding its velocity is small. In case of large packet, we can determine the velocity of the particle with high accuracy because of its motion in the large wave packet. So because of its slow motion in the large wave packet, we can find its velocity with high accuracy. But according to the Bohr's probability theory, the particle may be at any point inside this wave packet. That means if the packet is large, then the accuracy in finding the position of the particle in the wave packet is small. But the accuracy in finding its velocity is high. So in small packet, the accuracy in finding the position is high and the accuracy in finding its velocity is small because of its rapid velocity inside the wave packet. Here wave packet means the moving particle is supposed to be treated as a wave packet consisting of number of waves. The appearance of the particle at this location means the constructive interference is taking place at this position or in this wave packet where we can find the position of the particle. In the exterior place, that means outside this wave packet, outside the wave packet, we cannot visualize the particle. Why? Because their destructive interference between the waves which forms this wave packet is taking place. So, for small wave packet, there is an uncertainty in finding the velocity of the particle. That means there is an uncertainty in momentum of the particle because momentum is the product of mass and velocity. Whereas in case of large wave packet, we can easily find the velocity of the particle with high accuracy. But according to the Bohr probability concept, we can find the position or we can locate the particle anywhere in the packet. Anywhere in the packet. That means because of the large size of the packet, the probability of finding its position in the packet with high accuracy is less when compared with the accuracy in velocity. So here the accuracy in velocity is high. That means the accuracy in momentum is high, whereas accuracy in finding the position of the particle is less. This is what is called as uncertainty principle. According to Heisenberg uncertainty principle, it is impossible to measure both the position and momentum of a particle simultaneously in any desired degree of accuracy. Let me repeat once again. According to Heisenberg uncertainty principle, it is impossible to measure both the position and momentum of a particle simultaneously. Here, simultaneously is an important term. It is impossible to measure the position and momentum of the particle simultaneously to any desired degree of accuracy. That means we cannot measure the position and momentum simultaneously. Simultaneously means here at a time with the same accuracy. Same degree of accuracy means with the same accuracy. That means if we find the position with high accuracy, then the accuracy in momentum is less. Or if we find the momentum with high accuracy, then high accuracy in position is less. So also in general, the principle states that it is impossible to specify precisely and simultaneously the values of both members of a particular point if the values of both members of a particular pair of physical variables that describe the behavior of an atomic system. It is impossible to specify precisely and simultaneously the values of both members of particular pairs of physical variables that describe the behavior of atomic system. In an atomic system, we cannot describe both the variables simultaneously with high accuracy, simultaneously and precisely with high accuracy. Both the variables of a single particle in atomic physics, in an atomic system, small. So in an atomic system, if there are two variables, if we want to measure both the variables at a time, but we can't do it with high accuracy simultaneously. For example, momentum and position are two variables. Momentum and position are two variables. The error in the momentum is represented with delta p and error in the position is represented with delta x. The probable error in the measuring the momentum is delta p, that in position is delta x. Then delta p into delta x is approximately equal to h, Planck's constant. delta P into delta x is approximately equal to delta x. Here P and x are two variables. P and x are two variables of a particle. P is momentum and x is the position. Similarly, in case of energy and time, in that case also we can write delta E and delta T. Their product is also approximately equal to H. The probable error in energy and the probable error in time interval. Delta E is the probable error in energy and delta T is the probable error in time interval. Then their product is also approximately equal to H. Also, delta J into delta theta is also equal to H. Delta J into delta theta is also equal to H. Angular momentum and angular displacements. Their product is also equal to, approximately equal to H. The product of uncertainties in determining the position and momentum of the particles can never be smaller than the order of h by 2 pi. But the product of the uncertainties in position and momentum, the product of uncertainties determining the position and momentum of the particle can never be smaller than h by 4 pi. They never be smaller than h by 4 pi. This means delta P into delta x is always greater than or equal to h by 4 pi. Delta P into delta x is always greater than or equal to h by 4 pi. Similarly, in case of energy, delta E into delta T is greater than or equal to h by 4 pi. Greater than or equal to h by 4 pi. Similarly, delta J into delta theta is greater than or equal to h by 4 pi. Here, according to the uncertainty principle, we cannot measure the two variables of a particle in atomic, two variables of particle in atomic system can be measured with the same degree of accuracy. That means if it is measured with high accuracy, if one parameter is measured with high accuracy, there is some error in the second parameter. The error is like this. That means delta P into delta x is approximately equal to h. For other pairs, energy and time and angular momentum and angular displacement is also can be stated like this: delta E into delta T is approximately equal to h and delta J into delta T is approximately equal to h. So, the statement is the product of uncertainties in determining the position and momentum of a particle can never be smaller than the order of 4 pi 2 pi. Can never be smaller than the order of 4 by 4 pi. That means delta P into delta x is greater than or equal to h by 4 pi. Similarly, delta E into delta T is greater than or equal to h by 4 pi. Similarly, delta J into delta theta is also greater than or equal to h by 4 pi. Sometimes we have to write it as delta x into delta P is greater than or equal to h by 2 pi. Sometimes we have to write this as delta x into delta P is greater than or equal to h by 2 pi. Instead of 4 pi, in some cases we have to find it as h by 2 pi. h by 2 pi. So, this uncertainty principle applies to all particles whether free or bound. The uncertainty principle, uncertainty in measuring a physical quantity with high accuracy, that is uncertainty principle. For a pair of variables, there is some uncertainty in finding a parameter with high accuracy. So, uncertainty principle applies to all particles whether free particle or bound particle. This is the important point. Second point, no component of motion of, that is, of a particle can be measured with unlimited precision. No component of motion of a particle can be measured with unlimited precision. That means no component can be measured with cent% accuracy. Cent% accuracy. That means if we want to measure the momentum and position of a particle, then there is some error in measuring the value of momentum. Similarly, there is some error in position. Among these two, no one is determined with cent% accuracy, but among these two, the accuracy of one parameter is more when compared with the other. So, the product of errors of these two parameters is greater than or equal to h by 4 pi. Sometimes it is greater than or equal to h by 2 pi. So, among these two, in the pairs of the parameters, no parameter is measured with cent% accuracy. And third important point is, the relation shows the reason for wave particle duality in nature. Particle view and the wave view can never be incorporated simultaneously in the same experimental findings. Particle view and wave view can never be incorporated simultaneously in the same experimental findings. That means, in an experiment, we have to consider the particle as a wave, either a wave or as a material particle. Next, if the product of the errors in the two variables is approximately equal to h, if h tends to 0, the quantum mechanical results change into classical results. These are all according to the quantum theory. H is the Planck's constant, which is described in Planck's quantum theory. If h is equal to 0, all these results coincides with the classical theory concepts. The uncertainty principle does not restrict the possibility of simultaneous measurements, but it puts a limit on the amount of simultaneous accuracy in the two measurements. The uncertainty principle does not restrict the possibility of simultaneous measurements. That means there is no restriction for measuring two physical parameters simultaneously. But the accuracy is restricted. That means one is measured with high accuracy and the other one is can be measured with low accuracy when they are measured simultaneously. So, this principle is of a great help in understanding many phenomena in atomic world. Uncertainty principle is a fundamental intrinsic property. Uncertainty principle is a fundamental intrinsic property. These are all the important points relating to the uncertainty principle, Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. So, the origin of the uncertainty principle is the dual nature of the material particle. That means material particle sometimes behaves like wave and sometimes it behaves like a material particle. So, this is what is called as duality. When the particle is supposed to be treated as a wave, it is to be treated as a wave packet. The wave packet consists of a group of waves. Wave packet is nothing but a group of waves. Since the group of waves are not having the same wavelengths, so we cannot find the velocity with high accuracy. So, the position at which the particle appears is the place at which constructive interference is occurring at that point between the group of the waves. Outside the packet, there is no appearance of the particle, because we can say if the particle is not visible at a particular point, that means there the destructive interference is taking place. That's why we cannot visualize it at that point. This is the first one. And later, if the size of the packet is very small, if the size of the particle is, the size of the wave packet is very small, so the particle is supposed to be located at any point inside the wave packet. The particle is supposed to be located at any point inside the wave packet. So, in order to find the position of the particle inside the wave packet, according to the Bohr probability concept. If the wave packet is small, we can easily find the position of the particle inside the packet. That means finding the position of the particle is having high accuracy, but the particle is moving with high speed within the wave packet. So there is some error in finding the velocity of the particle. So if we measure the position with high accuracy, then the error in finding the velocity of the particle or momentum, since momentum is the product of mass and velocity, the error in finding its momentum is high. Similarly, other pairs like energy and time interval and angular momentum and angular displacement are also explained on the same way, like the delta E into delta T is approximately equal to H and delta J into delta theta is approximately equal to H. But the uncertainty principle is defined such that delta P into delta X is greater than or equal to H by 4 pi and delta E into delta T is greater than or equal to H by 4 pi and delta J into delta theta is also greater than or equal to H by 4 pi. But sometimes we have to write delta P into delta X is greater than or equal to H by 2 pi. Now we are going to derive the energy and time uncertainty principle. Now we are going to derive an expression for energy and time and energy uncertainty principle. Time and energy, time and energy uncertainty principle. Uncertainty principle. Time and energy uncertainty principle. That means we are going to derive delta T into delta E is greater than or equal to H by 4 pi. That means we are going to derive delta E into delta T is greater than or equal to H by 4 pi. We are going to derive delta E into delta T is greater than or equal to H by 4 pi. We know that the energy is equal to half mv square. If the particle is moving along x direction, we can write energy is equal to half m naught v square x. Half m naught v square x. This is the kinetic energy of the particle which is moving along x-axis and whose rest mass is m naught. So this is equal to p square x by 2m naught. P square x by 2m naught. On differentiating this expression, we can write delta E is equal to 2px delta px divided by 2m naught. Delta E is equal to 2px delta px divided by 2m naught. Therefore, px delta px is equal to px into delta px is equal to m naught into delta E. m naught into delta E. Therefore, delta Px is equal to m naught by Px into delta E, that is equal to 1 by Vx into delta E, because Px is equal to mVx, because Px is equal to mVx, m naught Vx. Px is equal to m naught Vx. Therefore, delta Px is equal to 1 by Vx into delta E. Similarly, the uncertainty between the position and the time interval delta t. If we consider the uncertainty between position and the time interval, then we can write delta x is equal to v into delta t. Delta x is equal to Vx into delta t. Delta x is equal to Vx into delta t. Therefore, from the above two equations, we can write delta x into delta Px. Delta x into delta Px is equal to Vx into delta t into delta Px, 1 by Vx into delta E, that is equal to delta t into delta E. Delta x into delta Px is equal to delta t into delta E. But we know that delta x into delta Px is greater than or equal to h by 4 pi. Is greater than or equal to h by 4 pi. So we can write delta t into delta E is also greater than or equal to h by 4 pi. So this is the uncertainty in determining the time interval and the energy. Determining the time interval and energy. So this gives an important conclusion for us, that is, in Bohr atom model, we learned that the electron revolves in its stationary orbit. As long as it is revolving in its stationary orbit, it cannot loses its energy up to infinite time. But we also learned that the excited electron in the higher energy level will come to its ground state within 10 to the power of minus 8 seconds. That means the lifetime is of order 10 to the power of minus 8 seconds. So, the concept of Bohr orbit violates the uncertainty principle, because it is the time is not infinite. Within 10 to the power of minus 8 seconds, it will come to its ground state, original state. So, the Bohr orbits, the concept of Bohr orbits violates uncertainty principle. So, today, the uncertainty principle is completed. In the next class, we will discuss about Schrodinger's wave equations.